Okay. So, what do you want to talk about first?
Well, why don't we talk about the series that finished up last night with that double overtime loss?
Oh yeah, the Winnipeg
St. Louis.
Jets. Okay. So, how do you think things went in that game from what you've seen?
I believe that well, I don't believe it. I see that St. Louis really choked at the end.
Oh yeah, 100% for sure.
100%. I mean, they're up 3-1 with like 3 minutes left, and they end up giving up two quickies to tie the game and to go into overtime.
Yeah, the Jets star player there, Cole Perfetti. What an amazing guy. I mean, he broke NHL history, there at the end with the latest overtime or not overtime, latest tying goal in regulation, with like a minute or
With three
1.6 seconds
seconds
left.
left, so
It's crazy. But
that's it.
yeah.
It's a hard way to lose. St. Louis was looking for the airport to fly to their next destination for the second round, and
Yeah.
sometimes you just can't look that far ahead.
Yeah, I think they were slacking at the end, like, yeah, we got this, it's gonna be over, but didn't turn out that way.
Didn't turn out that way, did it?
You must have did like wear and tear on the players too, because this was the most physical series of round one.
St. Louis usually plays a physical series. I mean, a few years ago, they destroyed the Bruins in the Stanley Cup by just being physical,
Yeah.
and Boston couldn't retaliate and didn't have the bodies to retaliate. So
Yeah.
St. Louis beat them in seven.
Yeah,
But
they said
going into this series, though, St. Louis they were playing well. I mean, they had a Cam Fowler had 10 points in the series,
yeah, right.
not bad. You know, our old buddy Snuggerud from Minnesota,
Oh
who
yeah.
got choked by our brother's team. Quinnipiac at a national championship. He finally showed up and did something this series. He had 4 points in 7 games. Not a hell of a lot of points, but as a rookie, not bad.
Right, right,
But
yeah.
I mean, and then Binnington, he had a 901 save percentage,
Yeah, it
which
was
is
looking
pretty
solid.
which is pretty solid. I mean, anytime you stop 9 out of 10 shots in the NHL is pretty good.
Hmm.
Um, but the heartbreaking thing to me though is seeing Montgomery go down.
Oh yeah,
I
you
mean,
wanted Montgomery to do well as like a slap in the face to Bruins,
um,
get
you
rid of
know,
him.
I'm a Montgomery fan. I grew up watching him in Maine when he played for the Black Bears, and I just I didn't like the way the Bruins dealt him, and that's a different story. We'll get into that a little later. But I mean, this is a guy who's proven he's a good coach. He took a last place team, got him 3 seconds from the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah, right.
I
It's
believe that
crazy.
team St. Louis what was it they won 17 of their last 19 games.
Yeah.
So they were on a hot streak.
Yeah, they were towards the end of the season. That's why they were looking good in the playoffs. And it was interesting to see how in that series that the home team always won. Neither team won on the road.
They've always said it's just never really a series until someone wins a road game.
Yeah, right.
So I mean, I got to tell you, they played well though. Hellebuck didn't play too well though
Oh yeah,
for
playoff
Winnipeg.
Hellebuck. Yeah. Oof.
I mean, he almost lost that series. He only had an 830 save percentage, which is not that
Second
great.
worst. Second worst. Second worst in playoffs this year, actually.
But I mean, they're a fast moving team. They're good. I mean, they had a few players with some good games. I mean, Kyle Connor, 12 points in the series in
You know.
7 games. Well, technically probably 8 games because it almost went to a third overtime. It was
Third.
a
Okay.
it was a good hard fought series. It was fun to watch. Not being a fan of either team, I sat there and I would like to see St. Louis win, but in my eyes, I didn't have a favorite in
Yeah.
that series.
It's cool. It'd be cool to see the Jets break the President Trophy winner like curse, and actually make it, in a way.
Why
Like,
that happened before?
oh yeah. No. I mean, the Bruins, when they were the President's Trophy winners,
It
wasn't
was
a
a
good year.
it was a good series though. Either way, I mean, there's a little luck involved, but that's part of
Yeah.
hockey. You
Yeah,
make
like
your own
that.
luck.
Like, oh my God, that redirect for that second goal Winnipeg had. Oh. It was almost like
Yeah,
tense.
you couldn't draw. You can't draw that up any better.
No, I mean, like Jets lead the nation, first in the league in power play percentage. Their power play didn't really pay off too well, but you know,
You got to give, like I said, you got to give St. Louis credit.
total
And what a
623
tough,
hits total for both teams. I mean, 320 for the
yeah,
Jets, 300 for the Blues. They,
yeah, it's hard hitting series. But I mean, like I said, I mean, it comes down to in my eyes, coaching. And
okay.
St. Louis, if they didn't make that move earlier in the season for Montgomery, they probably wouldn't have been there.
Yeah, probably. I mean, yeah, and then they have like a bunch of players on their team, 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 goals, 8 assists, 3 goals, 6 assists, like all these players that are contributing, not just goal scorers, but they have like they have the bodies and like the presence in front of the net that helps them, you know, get the goals they need.
I didn't see the stat on how many block shots there were in that game, but it seemed like every other shot was being blocked in front of the net.
Yeah, I know. And like the traffic that the Blues were getting in front of Hellebuck, like, oof, it seems like that's the trouble for him. Whenever there's traffic, it always doesn't end up too well.
Yeah, if you think about it, that could be tough for anybody, right? You
Right,
can't
but
stop what you can't see.
yeah, right. Like you look at some of the other goalkeepers in the series, or not in the series, in the playoffs, but Hellebuck has the second worst percentage, I think, and he has, they showed a diagram, and when you look at it, the majority of the goals that are scored are all over his glove side.
Yeah,
It seems like, I don't know, the hardest spot to like save a shot for a goalkeeper is usually like low blocker side, but it's all glove side for him, and that's something that he's going to have to work on if he's going to want to, progress in the next series.
well, I think he just had a bad series, but luckily they won for him. So we'll see what the next series brings with him.
Yeah, right.
I mean, he did bring the USA team to the gold too. So
Yeah, and then it was the
yeah.
battle of Hellebuck and Bennington, in the finals. It was like the Canada
Well,
USA all over again.
I guess could you say that's revenge?
That could be revenge. Yeah. But for Hellebuck, that's gotta suck, being, pulled, 3 times in the series, not having
Yeah, it's all confidence. That's what
yeah.
all it comes down to.
So I feel like after that he got some confidence back, throughout the last game and further and
Yep.
further overtime it paid off.
Yeah, overtime was a tough. It was a tough shot that went in to win it though.
Yeah, another redirect in front.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on and
What
talk
was it
about
next?
the
Let's.
Oilers and Kings series. Oh, what a series it was.
Yeah, I didn't really see much of that one. I did look, but I mean, I'm a I'm also a old time Oilers fan because I grew up watching Gretzky. So I mean, probably one of the greatest teams of all time, if not
Okay.
the greatest. Um, but I think Edmonton squeaked through. They get a absolutely do not play Skinner. He might be a hometown goaltender, but he is god awful. His save percentage is like 810.
Yeah.
That's
Awful.
ridiculous. I could
Eight,
have did better than that.
8-10 with a goals against average of 6
Yeah,
6.11.
you could have put a walrus in net to do better.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah, and his
But I
record
mean,
this playoff was 0-2.
yeah,
Then they bring in Pickard, has a 4-0 record this series with an 893.
it's a little better.
Yeah, but
It's a one
4-0.
shot better ratio, but depending on the quality of shots he was getting. But I
Yeah,
mean,
but it just looked like that the Oilers just play better and they have more confidence when Pickard's in net. I
absolutely.
mean, Skinner just seems to every time like I don't know, it just doesn't work out.
I never cared for him. I told you that last year when they were
The
playing.
guy's the
I
guy's
said they'll
been there
never
for
win the cup with
years.
him.
Yeah, but
But I mean,
I don't know.
well,
They took him
but
out. He won the last 4 games. Are they going to start him next series? I mean,
I would think you'd stay with the hot goaltender. That's my thought. But I mean, as long as you got McJesus on the team,
Mick Jesus.
I
Yeah,
mean, that guy. I mean, he put up what 11 points in
11
the
points. He
series.
had 2 goals, 9 assists.
Yeah, and he's a goal scorer, but he's dishing it off, which makes
Right.
him a valuable player. One of the fastest skaters in the league too.
Yep.
You get him going with Draisaitl. I mean,
Draisaitl. Yep.
they're tough to stack up against. The
Yeah,
defense is
right.
solid.
Mhm.
Goaltending is more solid now with Pickard in net.
Yep.
But then let's talk about our old boy Trent Frederick.
Trent Frederick.
Now, if there's a theme to this thing, it's going to be all our ex Bruins playing in the playoffs.
Yeah, you wonder why they're there and the Bruins
Yeah,
aren't.
he's playing solid. He's playing rough. He's using his body. He got 3 points in that series, but
Yeah, didn't really hear his name too much throughout the series, but
he's a solid player. Um, I can't. Yeah, again, though Skinner. I would if I was in charge of the Oilers, I'd be leaving him in the locker room.
yeah, right. I mean, yeah, but you talk about like McDavid, Draisaitl, 3 goals, 7 assists. You got Bouchard out there, 4 goals, 3 assists.
Yeah, Bouchard's a
Evander
defenseman
Kane's
too.
getting in there.
Yeah, it's some good stuff. I mean, they
Like they
play.
have the offense and the ability to put these pucks in the net, but all their games that they're playing are high scoring. Like, they always lose, 7-6 or whatever. So they have the offense, but they just don't have the
Yeah,
goaltending,
the defense is
defense and goaltending.
that's what's holding them back. The goaltending, I figure if they leave Skinner out, it gives them a better chance.
Yeah.
As far as the Kings, I didn't really watch much of them. I'm anti LA no matter what sport it is. Uh,
I mean,
but I mean,
the Kings are great. They made it, as far as they did. They've been knocked out by Edmonton, these past few years in a row.
that's 2 years, wasn't it?
Yeah, they played Edmonton at the start, first round and got knocked out.
Hmm.
So,
No, one of my favorites to watch. I mean, I'd like to see them. I would like to see them win. They've had such a dry spell.
yeah. You think they deserve one? You think McJesus deserves one?
Well, the best player in the league should obviously get a chance to play in the cup.
Yeah, right. I think so. I don't know. I would
I
like to
mean,
see,
wasn't he the MVP of the Stanley Cup last year as a losing team?
yeah, as the losing team. Yeah, I think so.
So that's a first too. I mean, hopefully he can get some stuff rolling.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the talent. He's got the talent beside him too. If they work and make that defense a little stronger, I mean, I think they can go all the way.
Yeah, comes down to the goaltending.
This comes down to goaltending and defense.
That's it. It's
Greatest
the only
offense
sport.
is
It's
great
the only
defense.
sport where one player can make a total difference, and that's the goaltender.
Yep. You know, like take an example of when you look back, Quinnipiac in Minnesota, you look at, Yanni Peretz, like comes down to great goaltending.
Yeah, absolutely. I know Yanni's.
Yanni,
Yeah, we met him down in Bridgeport when Quinnipiac beat Merrimack that weekend.
oh yeah, we don't want to talk about that
Okay,
5-0 loss.
that's true.
Oh.
So I mean, that was a tough game to root for
Yeah,
both sons college teams.
we were drawn
So
between
we're,
sides.
we're just going to leave that one alone. Speaking of Quinnipiac, why don't we move on to Carolina and Rod Brindamore?
Oh, Rod Brindamore. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
his
So yeah,
son Skyler played at Quinnipiac.
yeah. Skylar did. I don't know. Haven't seen him in a playoff game yet, but he did get a
You
few
won't.
games.
He's still young. You won't. He
Yeah,
did.
we
He did
saw
get
him.
in. He did get in at the end of the year. He scored a goal.
Yep, score a goal. Crashing the net in front. True Rand Pecknold coaching. Right there. But yeah. So the
Yeah,
Hurricanes go on to win in five. 4-1 series lead.
well, again, comes down to goaltending. And Anderson was a 936 save percentage.
Yeah, I honestly, and then Kochetkov also a 900. Like
Yeah.
I think Carolina has the best goaltending currently in the playoffs, I'd say, other than maybe,
Well, Florida.
Roski of Florida, but based off of, the first, series, Carolina is looking really, really good.
Yeah, they played well. I mean, everybody that I looked up. I mean, you know, Aho 8 points. Skavenik 6 points. Even our old Bruin Taylor Hall has 3 points in that
Yeah,
series.
Taylor Hall, 1 goal, 2 assists, and Svechnikov, yeah, 5 goals. Again, Carolina's another team that's, got the offense. It looks like they also have the defense and goaltending to, be a
They're
major
well.
test to other teams.
They're a well coached team. Rod Brindamore was a hard nosed player. You never saw him play, but I did, and he was a He was a fighter. He was a scrapper. He was a Martian that could fight.
Oh, geez,
You know,
yeah, Marchand.
he
He's too
was
small to fight.
unfortunately, he played for Philadelphia, so he never came to our big city.
Yeah, all right.